Should a new missionary go with a sending church, or with a missions organization, or missions sending agency?
One question for those contemplating global missions is whether to be sent through a sending church or via a missions organization or mission sending agency. Let me first define these entities. A sending church acts as the tax deduction provider for financial supporters when national tax laws permit, and it could offer the majority of funding required to launch into life abroad, or as what is known as a living link supporting church. A missions organization would have a ministry already begun and or well established in the host country for the missionary to join. A mission sending agency will primarily act as the one who prepares and provides all things to get the person into the field of his or her personal calling. The sending church and sending agency or missions organization both have their respective advantages and disadvantages. For example, a sending church is very familiar with the spiritual state and spiritual giftings of the individual. Someone who is spiritually immature and sent to a foreign field of service would struggle even if they were to serve in a church within their birth country. Sending this individual into a completely new cultural environment will only exacerbate the spiritual needs and potentially lead to early attrition from the field and possibly even abandonment of the Christian faith entirely. A loving and intentional sending church will do her best to ensure that this never happens. Even for the spiritually mature missionary, the sending church will be more likely to lean into the individual and provide encouragement along with long-distance friendships across borders, as there is a very personal and long-time investment in the individual dating back before the call to foreign missions. Where the sending church may be at a disadvantage is in regard to providing adequate training and on-field mentoring in cross-cultural matters. Most churches are not learned in the culture where the missionary is being sent or the missional vocation, and its challenges specific to that host culture. The missionary may have loving people reaching out, but find strategic answers to their everyday life questions inadequately answered. Missions organizations, on-site and mission-sending agencies are much better equipped on cultural matters and can help the missionary work through the challenges with sound advice. The organizational method of being sent can also immediately connect the missionaries to pre-existing Christian community, where they will not feel alone and alienated. Member care is also often provided with regular visits in the host country to check on the spiritual and physical well-being of the missionary. Regular visits from a sending church member is often not financially or logistically feasible. Someone who is new to the mission field will likely experience an uphill battle to raise financial support, as people will not have a tested history to know the likelihood of long-term service, and an unproven vision of what will ultimately come of the time spent in the host culture. Partnership with a long-standing and trustworthy missions organization will give credence to the missionary's ministerial dreams. Something to consider when joining a missions organization or sending agency is the cost of all of these provisions. Yes, they assist with newsletters, fundraising, member care, travel or health insurance, and so on, but it comes at a price. Most agencies, depending on the size and services provided, will take 8, 10, or even 18% of a missionary's monthly support to cover these costs and other administrative expenses. So which is it? A local church or missions organization or mission sending agency? Obviously, each must consider his or her own circumstances. However, it would appear that since there are benefits to both, it may seem unnecessary to choose either or and go with both end. The new missionary should stick close to his or her local church to receive her blessing on the call to foreign missions. Likewise, the new missionary will be greatly assisted in the training and specialized care of the missions organization. Individuals who are self-driven and disciplined may not require as much assistance from an organization, while those who are not that type of person will need much more accountability and direction. Missionaries must surround themselves with as many support networks as possible and rely solely upon the united body of Christ, so that they may be spiritually adequate and culturally equipped to accomplish whatever God has for them to do.